Why aren't actors ugly anymore?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Bill Murray was 33 when he shot Ghostbusters.
That's right, boys.
And I gotta say, Bill Murray is an unconventionally attractive man. Before we get into why aren't actors ugly anymore, I'm gonna do a bit of Bill Murray glaze here. I don't think Bill Murray's ugly. I think Bill Murray is a black pill 4, right? Sub 5. But I think the way he puts himself on is like an 8. You know who's really attractive? And I always glaze this guy. From the Fallout show, Walton Goggins. I think Walton Goggins is one of the few men that can rock the horrible hairline. And he is also, I think Walton Goggins is like a 9. Like, Walton Goggins is a very attractive man, but he's unconventionally attractive. He has a very bad hairline, and he doesn't really... I think it's like his facial symmetry is very nice. He has a good bone structure. Now I'm glazing.
This is what actors in their 30s and 40s look like. But something has changed since then, because actors that age...
Facial surgery and Botox. Large-scale facial surgery from the Hollywood's greatest to try and keep themselves looking the same that they did in their 20s, to where when they're like 50, they start looking like dolls. And it's scary. Like, I love a man in Hollywood that owns the wrinkles, you know? Like, owns the wrinkles. There's a lot of older women in Hollywood that do it. And I think a lot of women in Hollywood don't go overboard. I think a lot of women in Hollywood get like base Botox to kind of like get rid of like the crow's feet. But like, I'm never going to judge what people want to do with their face. And this is kind of me, it's sounding like I'm judging. But like, Ryan Gosling does a lot. He has a lot of, I don't know if this image is edited, but like his face is more puffy from what he's done. You know, like, I still think he looks great, but it's like there becomes a point where it's like, okay, you look like a 50-year-old that's making themselves try to look 30 versus like, I think you can look great as an aging man or woman, right? Who's like an older actor that doesn't do Botox or like facial surgery stuff? Like, maybe like Ashton Kutcher, but he's also not that old. Jack Black. Jack Black was never... I'm more talking about, like, guys that were considerable heartthrobs, you know? Like, people that were, like, you know, praised for their attractiveness. Whereas, like, Jack Black, I think he's obviously great-looking man. Stunning. Has cheetah eyes. But, you know, he was never praised for his attractiveness. He was praised for his acting abilities, his singing... how, like, cool he was. William Dafoe. Yeah. William Dafoe does it well, too. Yeah, like, I think he looks good. I know he's old, but he looks like, it's like, I fuck with that, you know? Like, dude, that was, like, the uncanny shit was that Dunkin' commercial. Can we watch that real quick? And then we'll get back into it. Like, I know they CGI de-aged everybody, but it was fucking creepy. But, like, they made all of them, oh, my God, like Joey, what is his name? Not Joey Tribbiani. Well, that's who he plays, but I always forget his actor's name. Dude, that's creepy. No, the worst one is Jennifer Aniston. They make Jennifer Aniston look scary. When she shows up, bro. Like, she looks like a doll. The way they CGI her face. Oh my God. It's just, I think that's one of the reasons why actors aren't ugly anymore. But like, it's also just this obsession with looks on social media, especially short form media now, where I think a lot of people that get opportunities, it's like the foot in the door is no longer the acting ability, it's the look. I think Hollywood is so much more now about like, we want a guy that's going to look good, right? But it gets unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like, now we have, like, Timothée Chalamet. I'm not saying he has this, but, like, Timothée Chalamet did Marty Supreme. I think he did a great job. You know, blah, blah, blah. The promotion was awesome, right? But, like, you could have, like, Timothée Chalamet playing a regular New York taxi driver. Totally unrealistic. Totally unrealistic. Let's get a guy that actually looks like a fucking New York City taxi driver, okay? Let's get a regular guy off the street and fucking cast him. Why are we trying to make people... Why are we fitting these, like, 10 out of 10 actors in terms of attractiveness to, like, just, like, an average role? We're like, yeah, this guy's definitely going to just be flipping burgers. No.
Today don't look like this anymore.
I lost my hand!
They look like this. Or like this. Actors today...
Yeah, 35? What the fuck?
Today need to have great hair, perfect skin, and be in flawless shape. They don't look like regular people anymore. They look like supermodels. This isn't every single actor.
No, they look like supermodels, and then there's like this weird diverging role, right? It's like older movies from like 2010 and before. You had people that were really attractive. You had the average looking guy or woman. And then you have like people that get cast in ugly roles, right? Like they did it a lot in Disney, they did it a lot in Nickelodeon, they do it a lot in like comedy movies where like they literally cast somebody to be the ugly guy. Now it's like really attractive people, average extras, and then ugly people as roles. I always wonder that too. I'm like, that sucks to be cast as like the fat guy in a role. I always wonder if that upsets them, you know? Because there's so many movies where it's like they literally cast you as the ugly fat guy. But that's your role. Like, you're not a main character. You're just like a side scene for 5 minutes where it's like, oh, look how ugly and fat this guy is. And then they move on.
But it's clear there's been an overall change in how A-list performers look. And it's also how they're shown to the camera, like in low lighting and with more vibrant colours. They're surrounded by other people, and on an actual set, rather than a green screen.
Everything's under control, situation normal.
You're probably going to say this is because of a wider trend of movies looking bland and flat nowadays, and things like bad lighting, dull colours, and the Netflixy look make basically everything in modern movies look worse. And also, we can't ignore cosmetic surgery.
As my plastic surgeon always said.
But if you look at movies from before the millennia, it's hard to deny that the actors looked more like regular people.
Keep it still back there, lady, or else we're gonna have to shoot you.
I feel like maybe, do you think that it's also just the lack of average looking people getting into acting? Because all the people that I know now in social media and just also in my life that get into acting are like 8 out of 10 or higher. I think like so many people that love theater and want to get into acting are like shunned at a young age because they don't fit like this beauty standard, even if the skills are there.
Okay, so the word ugly is a bit harsh, and I'm not trying to objectify.
Yeah, no, I don't think ugly. It's like the people in Hollywood don't look real. Like, am I crazy to say there's an uncanny level of attractiveness where somebody is so good looking that it's actually a turnoff? Like, you don't look real. It's that good. And it's like, okay, no, like you look like a doll, like actually like a doll. Like they've sculpted you.
Or body shame anyone. Most people who are cast in movies aren't unpleasant to look at. I just mean that they have bodies and faces that practically belong to a normal person without the aid of personal trainers, dietitians, and plastic surgeons. They look like normal everyday people you could see walking down the street.
I need a man who has powerful friends.
Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, and Jack Nicholson aren't bad-looking guys, but they have a sort of everyman appeal that we just don't see in today's
Yeah, you would walk past them on the street and not bat an eye.
stars.
Saw it on the television.
And I love that because I think that brings you into the movie, you know? When it's just like a regular handyman that becomes this agent or something, and he's like a 10 out of 10. I'm like, bro, the average roofer that I hire to do a job is not going to look like fucking Brad Pitt, right? He's going to be a big gut, blue-collar man that's going to fucking staple some paddings to my roof, you know? He's going to look like an everyday guy I walk past on the street.
Big part of this is that today, people just generally look younger.
Physical. Clean.
Hey.
I think people look younger. I think people get work to look younger. And I also think the average person today is better looking too. Can I say that? I think like every generation looks better than the generation before it. Maybe that's also a fashion thing. Like if I look back at like pictures of 30-year-olds in the 1950s, they look weird to me because they're wearing like fucking clothing that isn't in style anymore. Isn't that the point of evolution? Yeah, like natural selection to a degree. But I also think people are better at holding themselves and, like, you know, making themselves look the best that their potential enables them to.
26.
There's a great Vsauce video from a few years ago that goes into this in more detail. Essentially,
We watched that. That was a really good video, too. That people look older.
In more detail. Essentially, the clothes and overall style has changed, and combined with better medical care, nutrition, and less smoking, people are healthier and better looking.
I guess I started smoking when I was about 4.
Healthier is a debatable question.
So here's a few age comparisons that highlight this in
My
action.
mom was already dead from lung cancer.
Gene Hackman is 44 here. Actors in their mid-40s today look like this.
Are we soulmates?
Or like this.
And that's nuts, man. Like, I know for a fact in my mid-40s, I'm not going to look like that. I'm going to look so much worse. Like, it is unreal, dude. He looks 32. Like, how old would you say, genuinely speaking, chat, how old would you say Chris Evans looks there? 34 tops. Mid-young 30s.
Or like this.
Not 39.
There's quite a big difference.
Just a little slap.
Sylvester Stallone was 30 when he first shot Rocky.
Look at his face.
A comparable actor today would be Timothy Chalamet at 29.
You young pop.
But they play very different types of characters. If we want to be fair, let's compare two all-American action stars.
Drop it, dickhead.
Glenn Powell, 35 in Twisters, and Bruce Willis, 33 in Die Hard.
Bro, Glenn Powell will still play the young love interest in, like, a 2026 rom-com. They were not casting 35-year-olds to do that 20 years ago.
Robert Pattinson was 35 when he played Batman, and Michael Keaton was only 2 years older.
Bruce Wayne.
Are you sure?
But Keaton has visible lines around his mouth, his hair has receded a bit, and he has a subtle 5 o'clock shadow that doesn't feel purposeful. But Pattinson, even though dressed up to look sleep-deprived and reclusive, has a chiseled jaw and perfect skin. Overall, he looks a lot younger.
That's interesting.
But there's something more at play than actors simply looking older in the past.
Frank, they're not here for you.
Do you think it's the makeup, too? They still were doing crazy makeup in the 90s. Like, that can't be what it is. They're not making them look younger in the film.
It's the kind of faces that have changed too.
Weird Al Yankovic is on the plane.
It's the everyman look, receding curly hair or imperfect skin. And it's because of these distinct features that characters had a stronger sense of personality just by looking at them.
Do you have any hobbies?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
But before we continue, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor.
Dude, I gotta rewatch all the Ghostbusters films. I think that it's ugly people trying to get into acting and then they never make it because they look bad. But they don't look bad. It's like there's so many roles in acting that need to be filled, right? There's so many people going into acting. It's like this bottleneck effect where there's like, 10 roles but 100 people applying. But even then, it's not like, oh, it's because they don't fit the bill. Like, there's so many average people that need to get cast for roles, but it's just like they're picking like 10s now for fucking main characters.
In the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West, we meet 3 characters who don't survive the end of the scene. But they all have an interesting look. Al Mullock has long hair blowing across his face and vibrant blue eyes. Jack Elam has the long eyebrows and beard that goes down his neck. And then Woody Strode looks completely different, with a square jaw and a piercing look. From their faces alone, we can get a level of understanding to their character. It's hard to put into words, but we get a feeling that this guy is going to behave differently to this guy. And then compare them to the station manager. We can understand the dynamic just from the way they look. You can say this is down to great casting, and to some extent it is, but ultimately, it's just these guys' faces that carry the entire 15-minute opening.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be alright.
Yeah, like he just looks like a disheveled old man. Like this guy looks like some dude you would see on the side of the road in New York City.
It'll be alright.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
You're all grateful.
Wow, I love like the YouTuber breakdowns that these guys, or not the cinephile breakdowns that these YouTubers do. Like, I love these analyst movies. I never think, because it's like such subconscious shit that you don't even think about till they bring it up. where it's like, wow, the mob bosses really are very similar, but like the mustache and the slick back hair is different. A cinephile, that's somebody that loves movies.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
We're all grateful to Don Corleone for calling this meeting.
How they style their hair, the type of suit they wear, and how fat they are, all goes a long way to tell us about their character.
He had all the judges and politicians in his pocket.
And this isn't just limited to side characters. Even the leads in the past had a more interesting look. They didn't all look like supermodels.
You look like 40 miles of rough road.
This is people like Sissy Spacek, Leslie Nielsen, and Cher. They simultaneously look like a normal person, but also have a unique look.
Completely normal individual.
Kurt Russell in Escape from New York was big, but in shirtless scenes his abs have little definition. Bruce Willis was handsome, but his receding hairline and modest muscles retain a sort of everyman look. And compare how Hugh Jackman looked in the first X-Men film in 2000 to Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah, he looks better. It's like, how does Hugh Jackman in his 20s look more average than now?
So what is the effect of this? What is the
fucking ripped six-pack? Looks like he's on steroids.
Effect of seeing these regular looking people on screen? And how does seeing interesting faces work to make a movie better? Let's take a look at a few examples.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes?
This is Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby.
I'm Rosemary Woodhouse.
As the film progresses, she cuts her hair shorter and begins to look paler and thinner. Visually, we understand the transformation the character is undergoing.
I'm not changing. I just want to go to Dr. Hill and get a second opinion.
Would this work if she was played by someone like Margot Robbie? I don't think so. It's Mia Farrow's unique look that helps make the character feel like an actual person that could exist somewhere, which makes us empathize with her more.
Dr. Hill, please.
It's the same with John Travolta in Blowout, Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Well, because the average person that's watching a movie that wants to relate to the main character isn't going to... Like, I get you casting fucking Chris Evans and Hemsworth for Thor and Captain America. They're fucking superheroes. They're not supposed to be everyday people. Thor is a god, right? But, like, when you have a regular taxi driver playing a role in a movie, you want that guy to be relatable, and the average person watching the movie isn't going to relate to a guy that's a 10.
In Star Wars, Luke and his family look like fairly ordinary people, whereas Grand Moff Tarkin and the Imperial officers have a much more austere look to them.
Fear will keep the local systems in line.
In the 20th century, the pool of actors to choose from seems to have been much more aesthetically varied than it is today. There was actors with big noses.
I got it, go ahead.
Big foreheads.
He's gonna prove it to the whole world.
Heavy-set eyes.
Did you know that?
And receding hairlines.
But you and me together, that'd be tops.
We subconsciously infer things about people's personality based on their features, which in turn helps them create a richer character without much heavy lifting.
Mentally, you picture my dog.
In Taxi Driver...
But I think they do so... Like, there's still TV shows... I think movies, it's gone away, but TV shows, they still have it. Always Sunny in Philadelphia isn't even filmed in Philly, but it still gives that Philly vibe. They look like regular-ass white people that live in Philly. Danny DeVito is like Danny DeVito, like sometimes they make him seem like a goblin, bro. He'll be naked crawling out of a fucking couch covered in oil. Like, I know that's part of the comedy, but it's like they're not like, imagine if Always Sunny in Philly was just like Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt as the old guy, and then, you know, Olivia Rodrigo. You'd be like, okay, well, these aren't regular fucking Philly actors. There's shows where they actually make fun of that. Like, I Love L.A. They make fun of L.A. culture. They look like L.A. people. They might live in L.A., but, like, they cast people that, like, fit this L.A. role, and it makes fun of that. So I love that show. I don't watch it all the time. I'll watch it with Brooke when she's watching it, but it's a good fucking show. But even back then, they had people that didn't... It's so weird, because I think on average, movies in general do cast higher attractive roles. But, like, dude, the cast of Friends, all attractive. All of them. Maybe Ross is, like, unconventionally attractive, but, like, Phoebe, Monica, and Rachel are all 9s, 10s, right? Very pretty. Joey Tribbiani, attractive guy. Chandler, attractive guy, right? Ross, I would say maybe unconventionally attractive, but he also was signed for that role. It makes sense, right? Like, Ross is still a good-looking dude. It's like all of them were 10s, almost. Chandler? I think Chandler was a good-looking guy. Obviously, he was dealing with, like, you know, problems where he was fluctuating in weight and, like, he looked different depending on the scene. But I think overall, he still looked good.
This guy, completely bald on top, but with a flow at the back. This guy with his scruffy beard and round glasses. And even De Niro himself with his 5 o'clock shadow and redness around his eyes. If you got into a cab and this was the driver, you wouldn't think twice.
Did I tell you to do that with the meter?
All of these actors look like they actually belong in the setting rather than just walking out of a dressing room.
Can I talk to you for a second?
And this is environmental immersion. In 1976, after Sylvester Stallone went 15 rounds in Rocky, his face was soaking wet, his hair sticking to his head, and he's covered in blood with his face fully contorted with bruises. But in 2015, after Michael B. Jordan fought in Creed, he's just got a subtle sheen of sweat and a small...
Yeah, bro, they make him look too good. I'm like, this is, bro, Paddy Pimblett in that UFC fight where he didn't get knocked out, but he got his head fucked up so bad that he literally looked like a pumpkin. His face was swelling so much. Like, get the hell out of here. I'm supposed to watch Creed and be like, oh, dude, his face is a little scuffed and he's getting killed this fight, but it'll be all right.
Bruise around one eye.
Like, I need to see one eye swollen. Stop! Like, that would put you on the floor. Bro, your face would be so fucked if you got knocked like that.
Stop! It's me!
At the end of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's suit is ripped to hell, revealing his bruised, dirty, and sweaty face. And
that's one thing I'll say about Spider-Man. People get upset with me. I think the first Spider-Man is the worst Spider-Man. I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is better than Tobey Maguire's. But I think Tobey Maguire fits the Spider-Man look the best out of any of them. I've loved Tom Holland the most. I actually think Andrew Garfield second, Tobey Maguire third, off of acting. But when you think of like everyday New Yorker, kind of a nerd, you know, a dweeb, getting these powers and then becoming a superhero, I'm not thinking of Tom Holland. And I'm not thinking of Andrew Garfield. I'm thinking of Toby McChud, you know, Chud Maguire. You know, that's the guy that fits the bill, you know, looks like an everyday dude, gets powers, becomes some superhero god, has that really cringy scene where they slick his hair back when he's Venom and he's like, I hate that scene, by the way. That's the worst. Like that, whenever I see that scene, it's right below the Happy Birthday song in Breaking Bad.
Chaotic tear across his mask.
Mr. Osborn.
But for Tom Holland, he's got a couple of cuts that seem very intentionally placed, and his suit isn't ripped at all. His mask hasn't been torn open, but just neatly taken off.
Hey, Blondie? Water?
After Clint Eastwood walked 70 miles in the desert, his face is completely scarred and burned. We can barely recognize him. But today, there aren't many examples of actors looking scarred like this. It seems like everyone has to look perfect all the time. It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken...
That movie was so fucking bad. That movie was so fucking bad. Jurassic World, love Scarlett Johansson. My God, this movie was terrible. Every scene, she's like, well, I'm a co-op expert. That's why they hired me. I'm a co-op expert. What the fuck do you have to do? I'm a co-op expert. Okay, so we're bringing you to go extract dinosaur blood? You worked in the military and, like, covert shit. What the hell does that have to do with going to stab a T-Rex? Okay? You have your skill transfer. That's like you being a pro in Rocket League and being like, I'm a Rocket League pro. And we're in fucking Vietnam. And we're in Vietnam. You know, we're loading artillery, and you're like, don't worry, I was SSL. That means about jack shit to me. What the fuck does that have to do with this?
It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken the substance and transformed into a kind of picture-perfect version of themselves. Not a single wrinkle, not a hair out of place, and completely smooth skin. The best we'll get is maybe a small smear of dirt or a tiny...
The worst that I despise is movie scenes where they're like so fucked. They've been surviving in the wilderness. They, you know, fighting limb to limb to survive. And then you see their teeth, pearly white. They've been in the jungle for 6 months. And they fuck up their face and they make them look, you know, all messed up. And then they're like, and you see the glare off their teeth. I'm like, yo, it's not like why we can't tint their teeth yellow to make this look more real.
Cut. And they look great, but when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale.
Well, see, no, that scene's different because that's just Vin Diesel, right? That's Dom Toretto. Vin Diesel after plunging a burning car into dirty water. It's Dom Toretto.
And they look great.
Dom Toretto's fucking a badass.
But when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale. And sure, this isn't every single actor working today. You can still find distinct looking people, but it seems like it is the majority of them. In an article from
That's what I was saying.
2021, Raquel S. Benedict likens our body to become an investment in which we have to maximize our value through looking good. We're reduced to a collection of features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no—
Oh my god, what is that thing called where it's supposed to give you a better jaw? Bro, just like chew gum. I never understand that shit. Jawzercise, I think is the name of the product.
Features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no longer the vehicle through which we experience joy and pleasure, but a status symbol that needs to be constantly presentable to the world.
Put your greasy tits away, you preening slut.
For actors, this is taken to the extreme, especially for women. They can never age or show any imperfection. They need to be a bankable star, and a big part of this is looking good on camera.
Pretty girls should always smile.
Let's take hairlines as an example. Sure, Andrew Garfield probably got a hair transplant because he thought it would improve his appearance, but also because it's better to have a smaller forehead as a leading man. And with modern technology, if you can fix this, why wouldn't you?
Yes, Sergeant!
This just wasn't the case in the past, hence a wider spectrum of hairlines and a bigger aesthetic variety.
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head.
But today, this is becoming increasingly noticeable, and more people are—
But it's when they're playing a role. I think you want a smaller forehead when the main character is 40 or below. But if you're a main character in your 50s as a guy, having a perfect hairline is almost off-putting. Because the average man in his 50s is going to either be bald or have a receding hairline. Like, without a doubt.
Commenting on it, and here are a few things they've said. I miss actors having normal teeth, and then a picture of Tom Cruise from The Outsiders.
Check this out, buddy.
It's so annoying and just plain boring that everyone has the same teeth, the same body. I miss people looking—
Okay, well, the Barbie movie is a bad example because Margot Robbie is supposed to look uncannily perfect. Like, I was gonna mention the Barbie movie where she's supposed to look perfect, right?
Different and interesting.
Restroom and make sure my hair is perfect.
I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night, and it stood out to me that while Sutherland is hot, he's also clearly in his 40s. Like, if Hollywood wanted to make a movie of a 40-something A-lister playing a middle-aged health inspector, who would they cast? Ryan Reynolds? Chris Evans?
I got this.
We no longer have leading men who are good-looking and charismatic, but also don't look like they wake up at 5 AM to hit the gym. On Twitter, someone was talking about the 1974 movie Taking of Pelham 123. They said it's weirdly invigorating to watch a movie where every actor has an incredible face, and they all look normal, like no veneers in sight.
This is supposed to be a democracy.
Old actors have more grace than current ones. We can't have a truly accurate cast for the Beatles because they just don't make weird, crusty-looking young men actors like that anymore. I miss casting movies that weren't all A-listers or trying to be. Sometimes just having normal-ass people in your movie make—
I have been complaining about the fact that— oh wow, this guy plays the serial killer in Dexter. Anyways, sorry. I don't even know this guy's name, but I just recognize the face. I've been ranting about how I don't like that the new actors, like Gen Z actors, it's like there's like 5 of them. there's like 5 of them. Whenever you see a big new movie coming out, it's never like a random actor playing the main role. It's always somebody that's like super famous. And I think it's this idea, too, from Hollywood that, like, what gets ticket sales is mainstream actors. And it's true to a degree that, like, if you see a movie that's coming out and it has a famous actor in it, you're more likely to go see it. You know, like, if Jacob Elordi, is in a movie, you're going to be like, well, I kind of want to go see that. But if Jacob Elordi's not in the film and it's just, like, some random guy that isn't that super attractive— or woman for that matter, it's like, you know, it's the same thing. The level of popular actors is like, it's a smaller pool now.
Makes it feel more realistic. To which someone replied, convinced this will be the downfall of the Odyssey. Which brings us on to perhaps a good label to put on this kind of perfect looking A-lister we see today. iPhone face. It's hard to define, but I think it's basically this kind of pristine look that most actors seem to have. It's why some people look out of place in period pieces, because they've got a modern haircut or their teeth are too white. They're striving for a kind of look that didn't really exist before the 21st century. And this speaks to a kind of aesthetic that many modern movies have. They're perfectly lit, the set perfectly designed, the actors in perfectly clean clothes. But this kind of perfection just makes it all look boring. It's the messiness of a normal...
And it doesn't bring... The immersion's not there. Like, I want to see some shit where, you know, their couch is fucked up. Like, you're supposed to be this, like, struggling artist in this film, and you're playing, like, somebody that's broke. Meanwhile, yeah, your apartment's small, but you have, like, a brand new couch, and your carpet's perfectly clean, and you have no crumbs on the floor. There's no, like, weird marks on the walls, you know? Like, every regular room for somebody, you're going to have, like, a scratch or a hole in the wall. Like, why don't they have that? Method acting? Well, not even method acting for the actor. I'm more saying, like, the sets just suck.
Or the dirt kicked up from horses, the colour of the set, and the way it's lit. We're losing a sense of personality not only in how actors look, but in how films in general look. Hello? Digital cinematography has given everything the same kind of Netflixy feel. Look, this isn't every movie, and it's not every actor. If you look for it, you can find interesting looking people.
Oh, that movie was so fucking stupid. Oh my god, no, I'm gonna get so mad if... Dude, every time he shows that Jurassic Park movie. Where if you don't know, there's like this... They're going... Okay. So, in the Jurassic Park movie, the new one, dinosaurs exist, but they only can live at the equator, and you're not allowed to go to the equator. This stupid fucking family is driving a boat through the equator, and they get capsized by a dinosaur. Shocker. They all freak out. The boyfriend's a dick, blah, blah, blah. They end up getting picked up by Scarlett Johansson and her crew, which is trying to extract dinosaur blood to, like, cure cancer. That's the plot. Right, like, trying to, like, cure cancer, extend people's lifetimes. It's gonna, like, make people immortal or some shit, right? And you're just sitting here like, oh, okay. They don't even explain why. And they get on this boat. They end up getting separated. And the family is, like, struggling to survive in this area. And they're like, none of them die, by the way. Spoiler. Which is, like, so stupid. Because, you know, this is, like, a family of 5 that has no survival expertise. And they just get lucky at every corner. It's just, like, full plot armor. And while they're all, like, struggling for their life and, like, running from these crazy dinosaurs, one of their daughter, like, befriends this tiny dinosaur. And I'm like, dude, she would be terrified of that motherfucker. Their boat got capsized by a dinosaur. She's never seen dinosaurs in real life like this. They land on this island. They're getting chased by dinosaurs. And she sees this baby dinosaur that's, like, cute or whatever. And she's like, aw. I'm like, oh, hell no. She would not, like, walk up to that thing. Dude, everybody would be traumatic. I would be scared to walk up to anything that was moving.
People in modern movies, but this whole change in how actors, and by extension movies in general, look, is a natural result of an industry that's afraid to take risks. Movies need to make money, so they minimize anything that could theoretically make the film less successful, but in the process, remove what makes it special. Both films and actors aren't ugly anymore. They're not dirty anymore or bruised anymore. No one looks normal, and everyone looks perfect. And this is a problem.
It's worse than Hubie Halloween. No, Hubie Halloween is a bottom 3 film. I love Adam Sandler. I think that when he plays that role where he does that, like, ooh, I don't know. I just have some soup in a bowl. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. That's, like, so it's so annoying. And it's like he's not playing the role well. It's like he has, like, 5 characters, and one of them's, like, a quirky, weird guy that he plays. And he does the same thing in Waterboy. And it's like, oh my God. And no, it's just, dude, it's so, I can't get over it. And there's Adam Sandler movies that I love. I just think that those movies are unbearable. Actually, no, Jack and Jill's worse than Hubie Halloween. Jack and Jill was the worst the worst movie that he's ever made. I gotta piss again, then we're gonna hop into the next movie.